Okay, this week we've come and we're going to discuss men and their insecurities. In fact, our lesson says to begin working toward a healthy view of men and to understand their insecurities is our focus this week. And so we thought we would do that. We'd bring a man into this, and we've brought Ryan Yao with us. Ryan was a former student of mine, and there's a reason why I asked him to do this, because he has actually read the book So Long Insecurity. I don't know why. I guess we'll find out why he read this book, but he actually took the time to read a book written by a woman for women, and so we're just going to ask him a few questions and see what he got from the book. Okay, so okay, first of all, Ryan, why did you read So Long Insecurity? What was your motive to do that?
There's a couple reasons for that. The primary one is that a girl that I was dating and still am dating, she read it and she said it changed her life, and that if I read it I would understand her a little bit better. And so I was like, okay, I'm all for that. Let's do it. But another part of me was like, I'm curious what these women read in their books, and I'm also, what actually goes on in a woman's head. Can I actually understand that as a man?
No, never.
Well, yeah, I'll get to that later. But those are basically the three reasons. I was just real curious, and I thought it would help my dating relationship at the same time, and so that was really it.
Okay.
So.
Oh, what a nice guy that you would do that for your girlfriend.
Yeah, you have to take one for the team every now and then.
Okay. Okay, so what did you learn about insecurity as you went through this? From a guy's perspective, what did you learn?
Everybody's got them. It was the main thing. It even revealed a lot of insecurities in my own life that I wasn't necessarily aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I fear, making videos. I fear, I fear, not living up to expectations. And then I, learned a lot about women and maybe some of their insecurities, where they come from, and why it dictates how they act or respond in different situations. Why all men are liars and cheaters, and it helped me to kind of understand the reasoning behind where some of that comes from, rather than just being called a liar and a cheater. So it taught me a lot about where things are coming from.
So actually getting the woman's perspective on a man even.
Right.
Okay, so I'm sure you're a great authority on this now. So what did you learn about women from reading this book?
Y'all are almost as messed up as we are. Men have our own set of issues, but I did, I've read other books, dating books, relationship books, books on women, for guys, whatever. I read everything. And basically what I learned is that, we all are vulnerable and we all have weaknesses, and we don't like it. We try to put on a coat of armor, a confident self that everybody likes, what we think culture is going to approve of. And especially guys, we put up this armor, but then women, y'all are, I guess, more emotional, and so I guess you tend to react more emotionally, whereas guys, we put up that rough exterior. And so with women, I just learned that you're not mean, you just have probably been hurt at some point. And so that fact alone is enough to make me say, okay, well, there's more to this than just fighting back and forth because we're different. It's how can we help each other with each other's insecurities. And so especially in my own relationship, like, it helped me see where some of her insecurities were coming from. Like, culture tells her she needs to be this size or this shape or this whatever, and really, guys aren't all about that. Believe it or not, we really aren't.
Okay, this was not one of our questions, but do guys really expect us to look like those magazine women?
No.
Okay,
is the short answer to that.
Okay, I can cross off one of my insecurities now.
Culture and TV shows, movies, we say, culture and TV shows, movies, they say that these women are the ones that are attractive, and if you're not this, you aren't desirable. And that's false. Just living with women my whole life, I found all kinds of women attractive in my lifetime, whether it was because of their personality. Like, I've liked bigger women, I've liked smaller women. It's guys are attracted to women in general. It's not just this one, model type build that we're looking for. So, it's not all what culture says it is.
Well, good. That's a relief. Okay, you kind of opened the door for this a little bit in what you said. So what, if what ones you're willing to share, knowing that your mama's out there in the audience, what are some of your insecurities as a guy?
Okay. Some are physical appearance. Then that's, I think, one that I think everybody struggles with. We know ourselves better a lot are a lot better than everybody else knows us. You know, I have a pointy left ear that most people don't notice.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, and so, you know, I've never noticed. I notice it because I look at myself in the mirror every morning, and so that magnifies that. Especially when I noticed it, I saw it every time I looked in the mirror, and I was just like, I don't like that. I need to fix that. And you know, so we all have those little things that people may not even notice, but it's eating us up on the inside. And so some are appearance based, and then others are inflicted, and those are the worst ones where, you know, a parent or a mentor or somebody that you really respected, an authority figure, teacher, whatever, they cut you down in front of a group, or you know, they told you that you weren't good enough at this. Especially with guys, if we like to work and we like to do things, we like projects, we like to build, create, and if somebody tells us that our work is not that good, like that's a huge blow, and like from then on we have huge insecurities. And so for me, you know, in school, like I'm a fairly good student in the grades perspective, but I didn't work that hard. And so if people made fun of me for not working that hard, especially in elementary, middle school, it really hurt my feelings. And then I just put up an exterior, well, I still got good grades, you know, and like that was my thing, but I didn't like it because it showed me something that I was really insecure about, and that was my work ethic at the time. And so there's that, and then, you know, just, you know, I'm a more logical person than most guys are, and dealing with emotions, I'm really insecure in that realm just because I don't, other than happy emotions, like if it gets to hard emotions like love and anger or dealing with, you know, those kinds of things, letting that out in a good direction or in a way that doesn't destroy a relationship is huge for a relationship, but for me personally that's hard. And so when I get in those situations, I tend to shy away from it a little bit and, you know, run away or leave, cheat, well, not cheat, but leave. And so that's, maybe some guys are in those situations where they feel pressured, where they can't handle a situation. If a guy can't handle something, he's going to try to leave or get mad because he can't handle it. And so I'm a leaver rather than an angrier. So I guess those are some of my personal insecurities, and other guys would have other ones. But.
Have these insecurities, like, have they crept up in relationships that you've seen and they've ruined it? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, I've wanted to do a really big date or whatever for a girl, and then I'll start putting it together, and then like she'll say or something about it at the beginning of it, and then like that she doesn't like a part of it, and then I'm just deflated the whole time. Like I can't recover from that during that date. And so, you know, it's just I become a zombie at that point, just because my big idea, my work that I was putting out there to give to her as a gift, like she just kind of shot it down, and that just kind of like, okay, well,
I've done that to Jeff.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
He plans this thing, and I'm just like, it wasn't in my little thing, and he put all this work into it, and so I've crushed him, huh?
Not necessarily. Maybe in that area. Maybe he had to work through his own issues, but like, it's really, you know, what a guy does, whatever his job is or what he's good at, what his projects are, what his hobbies are. If you make fun of those or shoot him down in those areas, those are going to be picked up insecurities, if you want to call them that, to where we just kind of are looking over our shoulder at who's making fun of us next, kind of thing. And so with guys, it's a big one of, is our work that we do appreciated, and is it respected at the same time? And so
that matches up with all the things in the books that say that guys draw their sense of self-worth, I can say this, from what they do.
Okay, yeah.
And women are not like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it can be part of it, but my main is not that. So a guy definitely would be that.
Yeah.
So if a man's doing something and a wife just comes and diminishes what he does, even in his work, that could be bad.
I just
in a relationship. Go ahead.
I just thought about a good example, a Mickey Mouse example, if you want to call it that. Like if he goes out and tries to cut the yard, and he's mowing it, and he maybe missed a corner or something, like. He may have felt like he did a good job and just missed a corner on accident, but if the wife comes along and says, you know, why didn't you get this corner? Like, you do this every single time you mow the yard. Every time he goes out and mows the yard, he's like, what's she going to get me for this time? You know, it's a defeated mentality going into it the next time. And so any kind of work, chore, like there's a way to say, hey, you missed a corner. Like, did you mean to do that? Or is it just an accident? And, you know, rather than you missed a corner, like there's an attacking versus a supportive, encouraging. I still respect you, you know, there's that balance there that you...
You know, I think if I had to be honest as a woman with this right here, I expect my husband to be way more sensitive to me because I'm the woman,
Mm-hmm.
then I give him
Right.
sensitivity because I think, well, he's the man, he's supposed to be. But I think we do that. I mean, you're not a married man, but
Right.
I think you can still see that where we do that. Okay, good. Okay, well, that's good. He shared all his insecurities in front of us. Okay, we're going to move on to question 5 and 6.
Okay.
These are a little more technical, so I'm going to put them together. Okay, what do you consider to be a healthy view of men? Or more to say, how should women view men? So as a man, how would you think women should view men, especially, with a biblical perspective thrown in there? And then what would be most helpful for women, all of us, to know about men's insecurities?
Okay. I'll start where culture kind of starts. That's just our general assumption of men kind of comes from culture, from TV, movies, books, whatever. Most men, dads, whatever, they're portrayed as jokes almost. They're the funny guys. They're the butts of the jokes. They're, the ones that they're not really leading their households that well. And the ones that are dads, and the ones that are guys like me that are just single guys, they're just jokes trying to find a girl to hang out with for the week, or
Or other things.
other things, hang out for the week. And so, as a guy, I look at that and I'm like, that's funny, yeah, for TV, it's funny, but I don't want y'all to, as a guy, I don't want y'all to take that version of a guy and translate that onto, from culture into the real world where, men are viewed as jokes, or we're viewed as, these super romantic guys even. We don't want to have to live up to that super high expectation, kind of like women don't want to be compared to a supermodel or whatever, and us translate that image of what a woman should be onto the real version of a woman. We don't want that, just like y'all don't want that. We don't want it put back on us, because we are real people. We mess up. We, are sinners that need the grace of God just like anybody else. And so another way that culture kind of throws out that men are is that we're liars, or we're cheaters, or, once we do that, we're good for nothing scum. Just kick us under the rug and we'll leave. And so I know that this is kind of a sensitive issue, but really for guys, we do sin, and I'm not excusing leaving or cheating or anything. That is wrong. But we are sinners and we need grace and forgiveness also. And I'm not saying forget that he cheated on you if you're married or whatever. I'm not saying forget that. I'm saying forgive him and try to work through it if he's repentant of it, Even forgive him if he's not repentant. That's what the Bible calls us to do, is just forgive, and allow God's grace to actually change people. And so,
Well, not make that generalization sweep, because that guy did it to you once, even like fathers or dads. I think you mentioned something like that earlier. If your dad did something to you, that doesn't mean every other guy is going to do it.
Right. Yeah. Just because a dad hurt you and doesn't think, or didn't tell you or reaffirm you that you were beautiful, or that you were good at this particular thing that you liked a lot, he kind of shut you down in that area. Other guys will appreciate that about you. They actually do love that you love to draw, or that they do think you're beautiful, even though everything that culture tells you and what your dad told you is that you're not beautiful. You actually are. God put in every woman that wow factor for some guy. He's gonna look at you and be like, dang, she looks good. And so, and I think I talked about that earlier, where, I've been attracted to different kinds of girls for different things. And so, there's a guy that is gonna find you beautiful, even though the last guy may have left, or you just can't hold that bitterness, because you'll miss that next guy, or you'll lose good friends that can be guys, that are guys, that you'll push away because of that sweeping generalization of guys are liars, or an example of that. And so really, as a guy, I want to be seen as somebody that can mess up, but also that, is deserving of respect, just like all women are deserving of respect, just because they are image bearers of God. And so just for that simple fact alone, we deserve to be respected and shown grace, just because that's what Jesus did. God did, and we're supposed to follow that example. So I think that's.
So as we close up, were you just kind of surprised when you read the book how many issues there are that women experience and that probably men experience. Were you surprised by it, or were you pretty aware that women are pretty insecure?
I was surprised by a couple things. I don't remember specifics right now, but I was surprised by a couple things. But a lot of it is stuff that I had talked about or seen in other women before, like putting on excessive amounts of makeup or something to hide something, or, to try to feel more beautiful. Like, I've seen hints of a lot of things that she mentioned, but I never thought it all the way through like she explained. She does a very good job of at least breaking it down where a guy can understand it, and I know that's a miracle in and of itself.
Okay, well, we're going to close this up. The reason we did this is because we very much know that the world makes men look the way he described them. I know, I love to watch Everyone Loves Raymond. I mean, it's funny, it's hysterical, but they make him the buffoon. They do. And ladies, I've been around you, I've been around groups of ladies for a long, long time. And I've been part of that before. And we say things about men that we would just have a hissy fit if they sat around and talked about us that way. And can I tell you, they do not sit around and talk about us the way we do. I've asked them, okay? And just how we say, just men in general, and men this and men that, and we've got to train our men. Ladies, it's not our job to train our men. That's not our job. Our job is to pray for our men. And yes, I know some of you have been hurt by them, but we can't just put that sweeping across it there, that villainize all of them, or just that they're all pitiful. No, we need to look at them the way we want them to look at us. And more importantly, we need to look at them the way God looks at them. And they are draped in that same grace and honor and dignity that God drapes us in as well. So I just want to thank you. This is my Yao baby, y'all. Okay, I taught him in 6th grade, and I was so insecure that year because I did not know how to do the math, and he would stay after school and show me how to do the math problems so I could teach him the next day. I love this boy. I love you.
I know. I love you too.
I love this boy. I've prayed for this boy, and so thank you so much for doing this for us.
I love it. It's what I want to do.
Good.
So.
Thank you so much.